Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarda Zone. It's Friday night. You know what that means. It's Friday night contact. I hope you're all doing very well. But this is a very special Friday night contact because we're going to be talking season 3 of Picard, in particular, the finale, and we will give an overview of the season as a whole, rated out of 10, and all of that. So it won't be as long as most streams that we've been doing, because it's only one topic. But Chris will be along with us very soon. He's running a bit late, and we've got PD Rich coming on for Lee because it's Lee's birthday. So we bring him on now. It's the one and only PD Rich.
Hey,
welcome. We got a couple of people in the chat as well. We got Nicholas Horton and the classic 80s fanboy. Remember, there are going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode,
not a good place to be.
Good place to be. If you haven't seen the series, well, I don't know whether you want to hear spoilers or not to make up your mind whether you're going to give it a go or not. But it's up to yourself. There are going to be spoilers. So, if someone comes in the chat late, you can see there it's going across the screen there on the banner. Don't blame me if you hear something that you didn't want to hear. It is going to be full of spoilers. I was going to say spoilers. Chris Persia as well. You probably heard the local football team is playing their biggest rivals right now. We're losing 1-0. So you'll probably hear crowds and football in the background. I do apologize for that, but there's nothing I can do. I literally live above us. Well, I don't live above a stadium, but my apartment block overlooks a football stadium, so I can see into the pitch. So I've got a great view here. I'm multitasking. Anyway, so we're going to be here talking spoilers. If you haven't watched the first 2 seasons of Picard, good. Just watch the third. And I would say that as well, because, you don't need to watch the first 2 seasons of Picard to go into this one. Do you, PD?
Not at all. Not at all.
I don't mind spoilers. I don't watch Picard, says Nicholas Horton. Well, maybe after you hear us tonight, you might go and check out season 3 of Picard and give it a go if you're into Trek. It's not, obviously, this is not the purpose of the stream. The purpose of the stream is to obviously rate this bad boy and talk about it. But let's get into it. We had an hour and 2 minutes of a season finale. And for me, and this is not a bad thing, by the way, it pretty much went the way I expected it to go, but more.
Yeah. It was good. I really enjoyed it. And I tell you what, after episode 9, I was in tears. That was such a tribute with the fans, what Terry Matalas did in episode 9. Yeah, we can talk about it now, can we?
Oh yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
spoilers. Of course you can. They let it all out now. This is the stream where you can forget about ruining it, because as I've said, but there was a big major spoiler in episode 9, folks, and it was a beauty. People would call it member berries, but look at this whole season. I just want to make a point because I see a lot of the naysayers, right? And it's funny because you know who they support. And they're coming out with the same rubbish all the time, listen, that fans were being fooled because it was member berries. Let me point out and tell you that it was more than member berries. All of these characters were developed further. I mean, I don't know what more they actually want. The characters were developed further. We got a very interesting plot thread and story going through it. Also, on top of that, Picard and Crusher had a son called Jack, and there was something weird about Jack, and we find out what's wrong with Jack. I think he left no stone unturned, Terry. Here,
No.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what they want. I mean, look, I get it. You're angry with Kurtzman. You didn't like the first 2 seasons of Picard, and you didn't like Star Trek Discovery. I'm with you on that, 100%.
Oh yeah,
But
it's terrible.
But I'm not going to bash this because it's fashionable. The bottom line, the bottom line is that someone somewhere listened. Someone listened, right? That's what has to be said here. Someone actually listened to what fans were saying. We would never have got this season 3 if there hadn't have been so much backlash to the first 2 seasons. Someone listened.
Exactly.
PD, if you aren't the saying.
Yes, exactly. I mean, if you just have to go and read the Wikipedia article on season 3, just go and read about the production design to know how passionate Terry and Dave were about delivering proper Star Trek again, proper TNG, not ruining the characters, rebuilding everything that Alex Kurtzman, Akiva Goldsman, and Michael Chabon had done. Even the ending, the post-credit ending, just went and took a massive dump on season 2. And said it was rubbish, and we reset
I like that. I'm just going to say it right. So there was a couple of amazing scenes. There's a couple of things that the naysayers are giving out about is the fact that the Titan was rebranded the USS.
So was the USS Yorktown. So was the USS Sao Paulo. It's done happened before.
Right. So it became the USS Enterprise. But the moment for me that really got me going, right? They did have a moment on the bridge. They had a couple of moments on the bridge which were deadly. But my favourite moment of that whole episode, I'm not messing, was 7 of 9 for me. Because to see 7 of 9, right? She's talking to Tuvok, right? And she's basically, again, and this is why this character, 7 of 9's character resonated with me, because I saw a lot of the way she was written in Voyager. It was done here. It was proper 7 of 9. She had that vulnerability, even though like she strived for perfection and stuff like that. She always 7 of 9 always has dealt with her ever since she became human, right? And the Borg side of her was less. She became very vulnerable, and she always questioned questioned her ability. And obviously strived for perfection. I mean, she was literally going to throw in the towel. And what a little cameo from Captain Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that did bring a tear to my eye when he's actually talking about her. She breaks the rules, and you think, oh, no, he's being an asshole. First, he was being nice for when he's dying. Now he's being an ass to her again. And then he's not. He's like, she might break the rules, but this is what basically Starfleet needs. And oh man, brilliant, because she was handing in her resignation, and Tuvok says revoked, denied.
Oh, it's good to see Tim Russ back as well. Yeah,
so many good scenes. The Borg Queen was brilliant. A bit insane. But you could understand why she was insane. It made sense, man. I really don't know why people. I don't know what they want. Listen, Doctor Who, we've had a hard time with it. We don't know what you'll do coming up, right? Even though we've seen castings and stuff, right? But this was truly just from start to finish, from episode 1, all the way. I'm telling you. Listen, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Of course it's not. It was never going to be perfect because it's never going to be able to please everybody. And they're going to take liberties with certain things and stuff like that. But overall, this look, I said it and I'll say it again. This is the best Trek in years,
Yeah,
without a
yeah,
shadow of a doubt.
yeah. This is has to be the best thing I've seen of Star Trek wise in absolute ages. I think the last best good thing I saw was I like Star Trek Beyond. I have it's a guilty pleasure, but I thought that was good. But this absolutely blows it away.
Listen, even at the start of the episode, right? Because so we got the little teaser during the week, right? And then it
Yeah,
starts off. That's how the episode starts off, and then they realize the Borg cube is literally in the storm of what was it, Jupiter? It looked
Jupiter. Yeah.
deadly, man.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
It did. It looked very impressive. But when they were going on that away mission, it got very emotional because they were looking at each
Oh
other,
yeah.
thinking they weren't all going to come back. So when Worf and
Yeah.
they what's his face
Riker.
Riker
Yeah.
went over to the bar cube, like you could see all their faces, like every time they were leaving, they were saying goodbye to each other.
I
They thought they were
know.
going to die. And then there's a lovely scene with Will Riker before he gets rescued, where he's like, "I will sit." He's talking about his son, and I'm coming to join, and I'll see the rest. Oh, it was just so emotional. It
Yeah.
was just.
I
I
haven't
never
seen
knew that Star
sci-fi
Trek
like
could
that
be
in ages.
emotional.
Well, it used to be. We did have
No, I
emotional Star
mean,
Trek
but in
once.
the way that it was, the level
Yeah.
that it was, I don't know if it
Yeah.
was just nostalgia as well that did make us get
No, look at
upset
Year
at
of
key
Hell. Look,
moments. But
yeah.
look, man,
Look how
everything
emotional Year
about
of
this.
Hell was when we saw it back in the back in was it back in like 2009, 2010. Sorry, 1999 to 2000 when we saw Year of Hell for the first time.
Yeah,
That was emotional because we didn't know what
yeah,
the hell was going to happen. Janeway said goodbye to all her crew. That was very emotional.
yeah.
Chewbacca
I
was
do.
blind.
I have to be honest, man. I do love that. That's what I
Yeah,
mean. This was perfect. Like I didn't think I would. I didn't think I'd warm to the Picard and
yeah,
Jack. You know, I've liked Jack. You know, from
yeah,
the beginning. Um, we've had people on here like Lee that didn't warm to Jack
yeah,
in the show. But I did. It is a bit of a hard one because we kind of see Picard as, if
yeah,
you see him in Next Generation, he's quite uniform and stoic and
yeah,
stuff like that. It was nice to see that side, and it was actually nice to see that they were. I mean, that
yeah,
scene where he connects himself to the collective just to talk to Jack. I don't care what
yeah,
anybody says. That's some of the best
yeah,
writing in
yeah. Something
Trek.
emotional. It was
Oh
emotional.
my god, that scene killed me. That
And then
scene
Worf and
killed me. And
then
then
Worf
he
and Riker
walks over,
stumbling.
gives her a hug. He goes over and gives Jack a hug, and you just
Yeah,
see Jack, the tears coming from. Oh
yeah,
man,
that was a good scene. Oh, and the music has been absolutely
the music was
fantastic.
brilliant. The music
I
was
just went.
brilliant.
Literally, the soundtrack was released today, and I went out and bought it straight away.
Yeah,
No ifs, no
I'd
buts, no
agree with
maybes.
you. It's
Just
great.
so good.
It
Oh,
was. It was this season of Picard. It did feel like it was a family getting together and
yeah,
facing one last trial and
yeah,
tribulation with each other, and
yeah,
they did it very well. I have to be honest. Look, I'm gonna go out and buy this.
oh yeah,
Just this now. I'm not gonna buy the other two seasons because they do these
oh
multi
no,
box sets. I'm
no.
gonna try get this. You will get this separately, and I'm gonna buy it, and that's me only Trek that I'll buy. I'll probably
Yeah.
eventually buy Star Trek Prodigy because I actually like that. But if
Oh,
that
you
goes
like that though?
crap,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And Strange New Worlds, there's a trailer coming for that in June or something. So we'll wait and see what happens with that
Oh
first.
no, Strange New Worlds. You got proper Klingons back.
Good,
You got
good.
proper
See,
Klingons and proper Klingon battle cruisers all back.
good. Say they might be learning here, man. We have to give them a chance. Picard was one
Yeah,
step, right? It's a baby step, right? This season is a baby step.
yeah,
Let's see, can they prove to us now that they can keep this up, right? And let's see what other stuff now they're bringing out. I did enjoy season one of Strange New Worlds. I have to be honest with you. There's loads of room of improvement for that show, but the other teams just scored, so we're losing 2-0. So, yeah, I'm devastated. I'm not really. I don't follow them, really. It's just I just happen to live. Like, I know the team and stuff, but, like, and I grew up around the area, so it would be my football team if I followed an Irish team, but I don't.
Yeah.
But look, baby step here. Let's see what they do with season 2 of Strange New Worlds. That could be another step. Now, I know people are giving about what Kurtzman is doing, right? Let him do what he wants to do. See, this is why I don't get all the arguments from the other side now.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're still producing some good stuff, then you just focus on that and watch that and forget about the crap that they do.
I mean, you're right. You're right, Noel. You're right. It's like when Section 31, the movie. Yeah, let it burn. Okay, we know.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Right? That's for, but doesn't mean just because Kurtzman's doing that and what the Academy stuff.
Yeah,
that they still can't produce what they did with Picard. They can't continue that. Of course they can.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to continue. It's going to continue on Enterprise G. We
know
that's going to happen.
Wait, we'll go into that little spoiler at the end because that is. I do want to talk about that because some crew that will be. That's that crew.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
If that crew does not change at all.
Yeah.
And I know Raffi has gotten stick, but this character, in my opinion, was redeemed in this season, and she's different. And now our kid and our ex are proud of her. And I like that redemption because she didn't deserve it, man. She was put in a tough one in this season, I have to say. She had to choose between her son and saving basically the whole of the Federation. And you know what she's going to pick, which was unfortunate. But yeah, I'm being honest, man. Right, we'll tell you now in a minute. But let's. What was your standout moments in this without going into that little spoiler at the end? What was your standout moments for this? It was great to see the Enterprise in all its glory.
Do you know what I loved about it? I loved Worf and Riker on the Borg cube. I loved that bit.
Yeah,
Worf just going at it with his new sword. And then Riker picking up.
Yeah, then Riker finds the gun and he goes, "You've had a gun yet, but I like the
swords are fun."
Yeah, swords are fun. That's what it is. Yeah, swords are fun.
Yeah, the Worfisms throughout this whole episode 9 and 10. The Worfisms have been just perfect. This is why I think I burst into tears when I saw Worf in episode 2 because Terry got him perfect.
Yeah,
it's none of this crap. I mean,
what was great? Actually, you forgot to say the scene where they're fucking going through the Borg cube in the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And the maneuvers it was doing, because obviously back in their day when we were watching the PD, they wouldn't have been really able to do that back then. But man, to see that beautiful baby just
that was amazing.
Move around gracefully like that, just
Yeah. I mean, that was amazing. That was a good scene, It was very Star Trek movie, but we've seen something similar with Star Trek Insurrection, where they got the Enterprise E and the big collector. That was, and we know everyone starts arguing, it wouldn't be able to do that. I said, Star Trek First Contact, you can see inside the Borg cube when it pulls out at the very beginning. It's got massive space. It's like a Death Star in there.
Classic 80s film. Yeah. And you know what? Some great one-liners. Data had some fucking epic one-liners, man. And also, actually, he wanted to go into the Borg cube, and they wouldn't let him. And he was like, "Trust me." And they go, "Trust me, gut instinct." And I never forget Geordie's face. He looks at your gut.
What?
It was just like, what?
Oh, did you get cold feet when Deanna headed to the helm to type in the coordinates? No, don't go near that.
And he's doing the council sessions with Diana, and you can tell by the end of it, she's just like, "Oh my God, just kill me now." He's been a revelation in this, I have to say.
She's looking at holiday, looking at honeymoon areas. She's looking for a new place to live, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was looking for, she wanted to move back. Yeah, she missed the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes to Casperia Prime or something, which was in Deep Space Nine, was the alternate holiday destination. Oh, it was great. It was just great. It's just so well done, and the 20-minute ending was amazing. Yes, we needed that. I think Voyager needed a 20-minute ending. But
Yeah, Voyager's Endgame Part 1 and 2 is actually great, but here's my problem, right, with it. This could have very easily been a whole season arc.
Yeah.
And you would have been able to do an episode or two when they come back to Earth. See, that was the one thing that was missing for me from that Voyager finale. Listen, I still love it. I think it's a bit of a cop-out the way they kind of did it. It was a bit too easy for me, in fairness. But if I had more planning throughout a serious arc, that would have been a lot better, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
And it probably is. Those last two seasons in particular, though, I will have to say are probably the best seasons of Voyager. I'm not messing. I mean,
7, 6, and 7. Yeah, the problem with Voyager was season. What's his name? Who created it? Oh, it's on the top of my head.
Rick Berman.
No, it's not. Not Rick Berman. Michael Piller. That's it. He was the original showrunner for Voyager. He got ill through season 2 because he had cancer.
Yeah.
And Jerry Taylor stepped in for season 3 and 4, and that's why it got really funny. Apart from Year of Hell, it got really funny.
Yeah, season 4 is not too bad now, I have to say. But if you're looking for really great, I think the last 3 seasons in particular, season 5 has a few weak episodes, but season 6, soft. Season 7 are actually consistent.
Yeah,
they're very consistent actually. But I will say I was kind of a little tiny bit disappointed with the ending to Voyager, and that's why I was hoping that. And you never know now, you know, with all of this stuff going on, right? There's no way you couldn't bring Admiral Janeway and the crew. Well, obviously 7 is tied up with the Enterprise.
Yeah.
But maybe have a one-off episode, which we'll get into now in a minute. I'm actually at the spoiling of it. So there is a little bit of a. So the ending ends with them all around the table playing cards like they used to back in the day, and they're all having fun and they're drinking, and then the screen goes blank.
Yeah.
And then Jack is in his room and he's putting all his stuff away because he's proud as punch because he's now special advisor to Captain 7 of 9. Yes. For me, don't care. I'm a Voyager fan. I've waited a long time for this. For me personally, I have waited a long time for this. 7 of 9 was done dirty in Picard. Right?
Oh, yeah. That was terrible.
Right. But this fixed it. And she was betrayed the way she should have been. And man, she's the captain at the end. Oh man, it's just everything I dreamed of. Geordie LaForge's daughter at the helm as well. I mean, come on. You can't write this stuff writes itself. But anyway, Jack is in his room. He's settling into his new surroundings. And guess who pops on board the ship? Q.
Yeah.
And Q basically, Jack and Q have their back and forth, and Jack says, I thought humanity had already gone through the trial, blah, blah, blah. He says, but you haven't, and your time has just begun, or something like, or it's just begun, something like that, and then it ends, right? So, whether Terry is doing this or not, we don't know. We don't even know if it's being greenlit. But if they are doing this, Terry needs to do this. And Terry needs to continue these characters and this story. These are his characters now.
Yeah.
Right? The next generation crew are gone now. Right? They had their swan song now. Right? This is now 7 of 9's turn.
Yeah.
Right? So Jerry Ryan, listen, I don't know what she's like with scheduling, whether she wants to get into filming a series full time again. But I would absolutely say I hope she would consider it, because I would love to see a few seasons of 7 of 9 and that new crew space hopping the galaxy. Man, that would be just, for me personally as a Voyager fan, having that show would be amazing to me. because then I do know somewhere down the line there will be a cameo with the real
Oh yeah,
Admiral Janeway. There will. It will happen, and I will just, for me, Voyager gets stick, but as you know, it is my look. I love the original series, right? It's the original series is number one, right? But I'd even put Voyager ahead of Next Generation, and I know that's shocking, right? Because it should be Next Generation, right? But it's not. I know this. That's look.
no, it's fine. I'm a
It's
DS9
not.
fan.
It's not perfect. There's a lot of crap in there,
Oh yeah,
but when they got Voyager right, it was one of the best. It was one of the best Trek shows when it was written properly. Year of Hell was supposed to be a season arc.
yeah,
Future's End Part 1 and 2 were considered to be a season arc, or even a
yeah,
half season arc, but they never materialized. Your man that played Chakotay was very vocal during the run of Voyager and actually criticized the writers.
yeah,
It was actually surprising that he stayed on the show, even though he was criticizing. But there you go. But yeah, but
yeah,
the 7 of 9, are you down? Obviously she got her nice ending. She's
yeah.
now the captain of the Enterprise, the
Gee.
new. So yeah, are you happy with that one?
Oh yeah, I'm over the moon. I'm ecstatic with it. I love the way they homage. They renamed the Enterprise. Renamed the Titan A the Enterprise G. So because the Enterprise F was going to get retired anyway. If you listen very closely, there was problems with the computer core, so it was going to get phased out. And they gave it the Enterprise G. It's very. I mean, a lot of this is it's very much the greatest hits of the motion pictures, but I love it. They've done it so well.
But here's the thing, right? This is another thing that these kind of shows can do, and I agree with Chris Persia here.
Yeah.
They never see. This was the thing. They had him in it originally, but they were gonna get rid of him. But he
Yeah.
won. He won Man of the Year or something, or whatever. Good luck, whatever it was, in some
Yeah.
magazine,
GQ, I
right?
think.
Whatever it was, yeah. And they decided to keep him on.
Yeah.
Now the result that meant is that you had an extra. You had an extra cast member that they didn't anticipate. So a season later, then a couple of seasons later, your woman Jennifer Lynn, who ended up going back
Yeah.
crazy and exposing herself to kids, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, she's crazy.
She was then sacrificed for him. I like him personally I do. I think he's a nice bloke.
Garrett Wang, yeah.
I do, the Garrett Wang, yeah, lovely bloke, right? And I do have a soft spot for Harry. Harry is badly written, but he does get a couple of moments to shine.
Yeah.
In Voyager, in particular, the one where where he built what was it? Not the Yorktown. Was it the Yorktown or something? Do you remember what the new?
Which one was that? What, Harry?
That was the one where he went into the kind of wormhole and he ended up back where the future, where he never actually was on Voyager. He failed to be on Voyager. He was denied, and he's living at home with his girlfriend Libby. Do you remember?
Yeah.
But he knows he can remember everything, but nobody else can remember. And
Distant
then he gets
Origins,
Tom,
think,
who's now a drunk, who only got out of prison because he never went to the Badlands, and he gets him to help him. That was an episode where he got to shine. But my favorite one of Harry Kim's is the episode. It's called. It's the one where Voyager gets home. Well, no, it doesn't get home. It gets nearly home, but crashes in the planet of ice.
Oh, the ice one, that was brilliant.
And Chakotay then go, but they steal the bleeding Delta Flyer.
Yeah.
Remember, they locate they locate Voyager, and then they try to change history. Oh, what was that episode? Because that's my favorite.
I'm trying to find the last
Timeless.
That's it.
Oh man! And what's Shattered as well? That's Chakotay's best one. Shattered is where the ship is in different time zones, and Seska is back for that one because Seska had already left at that stage to bring
Oh
Paul
yeah.
back for a cameo. So near the end, Voyager had some great bleeding episodes. So for
Oh,
me,
non
I'm
sequitur is the other one you're on about.
yeah,
The one where he gets
that
stuck
is
in
a
past,
great story. But seriously,
stuck
man,
in
there's some great stories. But
the
obviously,
universe.
don't watch the clown one. If I even forget the name of that one, and the lizard one.
Oh god, yeah, the clown
Yeah,
one. Oh
yeah,
god, it
yeah.
drives me
They're
up.
the two
The
worst
4,
ones.
yeah, the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And we can have a Tuvix argument. Shall we have a Tuvix argument while we're at it?
Tuvix, look, it's as simple as this, right?
Yeah.
This is the way I look at it. I do see a lot of debate on Star Trek channels about
Yeah.
Tuvix. Here's the thing, right? While the accident, all right, made Tuvok and Neelix into one, right?
Yeah.
And that one was multitasked and could cook
Yeah.
and could do all the things that Tuvok could do as well. You were basically letting one of them die. Now the
Technically, yeah.
whole moral dilemma is did the Captain Janeway have the right to decide that the
Yeah.
two of them get, and that will be the moral dilemma. But if I was in that situation and I was that captain, I've lost 2 crew members.
Exactly. It's a pragmatic point. You've lost 2 crew members. You need 2, not 1. You know.
Exactly. So that's the way I would look at it. So I'm
as.
on Captain Jet, and I know it is. She felt, you could tell she would have lived with that decision, right? And it would have weighed heavily on her. But she had to think of it. She's the captain. She's trying to get them home. They have a 70-year journey ahead of them. She can't be, sentimental about this, even though she did like Tuvix as well. And maybe you could see that some of the ship actually agreed with Tuvix when he had that little speech, are you going to stop her and all of that, right? You could see that some of them were actually kind of, because they befriended Tuvix. So I'm with Captain Janeway on this one. I think she made the right decision in the end, and she did. Because look what happened. Neelix ended up going off, falling in love with Joanne, and what was her name? Yoki and Dax. Dax, I think, was her son.
Drax,
so he ended up falling in love, and
Yeah.
Tuvok ended up getting home to his wife and missus. So it worked out, man.
Yeah, Homestead, that was.
Voyager is very up and down, Lee, is what we're trying to say. It can be very boring at times as well. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But if you persevere with it and you watch it all the way through, you will see. This is the thing. You will start to fall in love with some of these characters because you do.
Yeah.
Things happen to them, you do actually feel for them and stuff. And there's a lot of. It's more like because it was in the Delta Quadrant, they were facing battle. Look, they come up against species A472.
Yeah.
They come up against the Herosian. They come up against the
Borg, loads of times.
Well, they do eventually, yeah, because that's near the
Kazon, the
Federation space, yeah.
The Vidians.
The Vidians, yeah, the Vidians are really kind of creepy because they're a race of people that would have been similar to humans, but a virus start eating them up at a phage, it's called. So it's like a disease and it ate their skin and stuff. So to stay alive, they used to have to go out and basically steal other aliens' organs, and their technology was so advanced that no matter what organs they used, they could actually replicate them to make them basically coexist with our body. Well, reintegrate with our body, I should say. Sorry that So yeah, you had them. You have a few stories with the Herosian. They're good. All the Herosian episodes are actually great. They even do where they take over a Voyager and they're using the holodecks, and then they use the crew to basically hunt them, because that's what the Herosian are, the hunters.
Yeah.
And they basically think everybody else in the universe is to be hunted. So that's the Herosian. Yeah. And you have who's the Kazon?
Kazon.
Now the Kazon for me though, right? And I know we're going off Picard. We'll get back to that. But the Kazon for me, there was huge potential with the Kazon,
Oh
especially when
yeah, they're
Seska
ruined.
joined the Kazon, where she helped them try integrate Federation technology into their ships and all of that. I agree. PD said it. They were hugely wasted.
Oh yeah,
I thought the Kazon, because they were the fourth species that basically Captain Janeway defied when she blew up um,
but
that lead,
caretakers
the
array.
caretakers array. She made an enemy of them. So it would
Yeah,
have made sense that basically she was well, not all the way through, because eventually obviously they get far away that they wouldn't,
too far
or
from
maybe
Kazon
you have
space. Yeah,
someone like Khan that was a Kazon that was crazy, that was obsessed, like Jonah and the whale, obsessed with the whale, you know what I mean, obsessed with
yeah,
Voyager. No matter where Voyager go, they're following. Would have
Marge
been
color.
kind of
Yeah,
great. They harvest body parts, yeah, not just organs, arms, skin, bones. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, not just organs. He's right though. Anything they could use,
yeah.
they would use to stay
Put people's
alive.
faces. Yeah,
Um, and then eventually, I think, if I'm correct in saying, the Doctor found a cure. Now, the two characters in Voyager that were greatly developed in the Voyager were Seven of Nine
yeah. Think
and
Tank found
the
a cure.
Doctor. And I think a lot of the, other characters actually suffered because there was so much focus on Jerry Ryan and
Yeah,
the Doctor, Robert Picardo.
yeah.
Because, in fairness, them two, the chemistry between them two was absolutely. Oh, man. The Doctor better appear. Oh, I better not say too much, man. I'm
Oh
getting
yeah,
all excited now, thinking of all these things that can happen. But back
yeah,
to Picard. Sorry, back to the Picard though.
yeah.
Season 3, Strange New World, season 2 in the same year. Can't wait. Yeah. I got Paramount Plus now. I'll give it a go. Yeah. I mean, look, the one show I haven't watched, as I said, and a lot of people are giving out to me, and I'll have to check it out. Is Deep Space Nine.
Oh, that's crazy.
Um, I remember when it was out at the time, I could just never get into it. I found it boring, so
Oh,
I
first,
gave up on it.
first,
But I heard it does pick up after the third season or something.
yeah.
But
Third
but
season's
I
big
have to suffer
game
2
changer.
seasons to get to that. So that's where my dilemma is. I will watch the 2 seasons, but it's going to be a drag if it's that bad. But in fairness, I did love Voyager, and I did love where it
Yeah,
wasn't always action. There was a lot of drama and a lot of fecking, because they were living in the Delta, or they thought they were going to be living in the Delta Quadrant. So they were
yeah,
like a family. They were more than a crew. That one, they actually became a proper family. So you had all of that family dynamic of people falling out and all of that. So it
yeah.
was pretty pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing I didn't like in this. The Borg Queen obviously
Oh
made
yeah.
a return. Slightly distorted head, might I
Oh yeah.
add.
Oh, look,
Um,
all I can say about the Borg Queen is, looks like Janeway did some damage.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was that was the original actress as well,
that was her voice. Yeah, she did the voiceover.
which is exactly what should have happened anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
come on, there's 2 actresses that played the Borg Queen, if I'm
three
correct.
actually.
In well, 3, what, in what?
There was an extra one in season 2 of Picard. I don't think that counts now.
No, we're not talking about her. I'm just talking about the ones before we came across
Oh
any
yeah,
of those
Alice Creed, and there
nominations.
was a woman that stood
Yeah,
in
there
for
was
her,
your other
but she
one
was
who I
busy.
thought was better, to be quite honest with you, though.
Yeah,
I
trying to
think
find
she
a
had
name.
more of the Borg down than the other one did. I think
Yeah,
the first one was more sinister,
yeah,
whereas the other one was a bit more. She had that sex appeal, but she still was the Borg Queen.
yeah.
She had more Borgness about her, if that makes sense.
Susanna Thompson played her, and Alice
Yeah,
Krieger.
yeah, yeah. So I like Susanna Thompson better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, Borg Queen back to Borg Cube. Oh my god, the way it was stuck in the plow. Oh man, that was just. I was not expecting that actually, though. And
Yeah,
that's the first few minutes of the year. I was not expecting that when
yeah.
I see it shot. And let's talk about how beautifully this was shot, by the way,
Oh yeah, for the budget,
PD.
yeah. Brilliantly for the budget they had, because they didn't have much budget on this one. They had about half the budget they had for season 2, so they had to really, really play. You know, most of the money was probably spent on building the set for the Enterprise D.
That's it. That's a proper description, I would say, Chris.
Yeah,
The Bar Queen looked like something
yeah,
out of a David Cronenberg movie. I agree. But it was a good look. It was still the Bar
yeah,
Queen. You knew it was the Bar Queen. I mean, it still had the bar get up. It was just the
yeah,
head was obviously extra distorted.
yeah,
And it looked cool. I'm not going to lie. I really did. I'm not messing. I never.
yeah,
Look, I was sitting here because Cheryl doesn't watch it, right? But she was in the room. I got up early to watch this because I didn't want it spoiled,
yeah,
right? And I'm up. I made me cup of coffee. I sat down on me sofa, put me pillows down, right? Had me cup of coffee in my hand, and I put it on. And like I'm literally talking to the bleeding screen, and she's going, who are you talking to me? I'm talking about the show. I was
yeah,
laughing. I had lumps in me throat, man. I got very emotional, man. This seriously, I know you say Star Trek was emotional, but this was like,
very,
wow, another level. It was very well done. And I just loved
yeah,
the little scenes at the end as well. There was some nice little touches.
yeah. It's just well done. I love the ending with the poker game as well, and Guinan's bar. It just did it so well. It was like just doing it for the fans. I wouldn't say it was member berries. I'd say it was a big lump of homage. It was so much homage. It's like kind of the kind of farewell we needed, we never got. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris does mention a very valid point there, though.
Yeah, there's a point. Yeah, it was Janeway who absolutely screwed her up. Yeah, don't
Well,
know why. Yeah.
actually, no, hang on. Didn't didn't Picard enforce contact? Didn't he
Oh, he killed her,
also?
but she came
Yeah.
back.
So remember, she's came back. So maybe, yeah, because it's weird now though. This paradox thing. But
Yeah,
maybe she is right. Maybe both of them did kill her. So maybe
yeah,
she remembers both because the collective,
yeah,
because even through time or so, I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, but Picard did also do the Queen over as well.
Oh yeah, in
And
engineering.
Janeway did the Queen over. So
Oh,
Janeway
future
did the
Janeway.
Queen over before Picard did the Queen over in the movies. So
No, Janeway did it after.
no. Are you sure? First
Yeah,
contact
first
was.
contact was before. That was during during season 5 of Deep Space Nine, which was season 3 of Voyager.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the timeline.
Well, then the Bar Queen gets killed twice in the same in a weird paradoxy kind of way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of makes sense that she mentioned Picard, but it would have been nice if she had said Janeway's name as well, I suppose.
Oh yeah, Janeway was
But
mentioned earlier though, but by Commander Rowe. So
I remember, yeah, maybe each Borg hive has its own queen. We don't. It's never been
yeah,
explicitly explained whether it's just the one queen.
yeah,
Has it really? Because I mean, if you see what, if obviously PD knows the timeline better than me. I just watched the shows and watched the movies and stuff, but
yeah,
I can't remember when I did. But there you go. But in fairness, they've killed the Bar Queen.
yeah. Well, I think they're clones. I think the Queen is a clone. Every time she dies, she just clones herself again. But because
So
of the virus, they couldn't do it.
because our consciousness and our likeness would be still in the hive mind.
Yeah, so she just clones herself. Yeah, Teddy just clones herself and just delivers another one. You know, pop. Be like the Cylon. She's a bit like a Cylon in Battlestar Galactica.
seriously though, this was. Listen, I don't know where else they could have done for the series finale. To be
No,
quite
no,
honest
no.
with you, because
It's
they
good.
set it up quite nice. We knew that there was going to be some battling in this, and there was. There was a bit of
Yeah,
action. Maybe the only criticism is maybe there could have been a little bit more, but in
yeah.
fairness,
Needed the ending.
it's because of all the other stuff that was going on with Picard, Jack, and then you have Riker and Worf and Data doing their thing. Like there's so many things going on, and I think it did tie it up. So I think if there had been a bit more action, some of that stuff would have been lost.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean we did get some action. I mean that battle at the start with the
oh
planet.
yeah,
I mean all the ships, and then 7 of 9 trying to do her thing and trying to
yeah.
stop it. She was, yeah, seriously, man. I
Strafing
just
runs.
loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Halton is in the chat. He gives a 9 out of 10.
yeah,
The episode, but the season in general, a 10.
yeah.
We'll get into that because we're still waiting on Chris to come on. Remember, so he's going to have plenty to say. We've already gone 51 minutes, so we'll
Yeah,
see. He
yeah,
did tell me to say he was going to be late, so
yeah. Shall we go through my teary moments then?
go
Where I
on if you
teared
want
up.
to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, season 2, I teared up at the end because I got Worf absolutely perfect. I mean, I thought they were going to ruin Worf. I thought they were going to screw him up, but they didn't. Episode 8 at the end when Data comes back, I teared up because I had that scene where they're all around the table. I never ever thought I'd ever see that again. And then 9 when they walk on the Enterprise D bridge, that just hit me.
Yeah, yeah. There was
Yeah,
some iconic. Listen, this was just great overall.
yeah.
And I've just had to check in me Twitter. I should have checked it ages ago. Chris won't be with us tonight.
Oh, okay.
So we've nearly said everything we need to really say about it as
Yeah,
well. So what we'll do is we'll just give it a rating and
yeah,
overall thoughts. So for me, overall thoughts look, this is probably the best Trek that we've gotten since.
yeah. Enterprise end.
Well, see, I wasn't a fan of Enterprise,
No,
but
I
there you
was.
go.
Season 4 was good.
But if people are saying Enterprise, but for me, it hasn't been the best Trek since Voyager because that's my favorite, as I said. But that's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
But this started off with intrigue with Beverly Crusher.
Oh, yeah.
That com badge, and that set the sequence of events in order.
Yeah.
And then we had the whole Raffi stuff, and she was working for Starfleet Intelligence, and then it turned out to be
Yeah.
Worf was working. Oh, it's just so much going on in this. But for
Yeah.
me, I am going to give Picard season 3 a 10 out of 10. There is no other way around it. This did not disappoint at all.
Yeah.
And as I said, you're always going to have your naysayers, but the ones that I
Yeah.
don't like are the ones that are being unnecessarily,
Abusive, yeah.
about it. There's no need for it. It is a good show.
Yeah.
If you don't need to watch the first 2 seasons to watch this, that's the truth.
Not at all. Not at all.
This is a separate entity. You will enjoy it. The one thing will say though, they still didn't rectify though, which I thought we were going to get a resolution to, was the fact that Picard was going to become. I thought they were going to rectify the fact that he wasn't an android anymore, but obviously that's the one thing that didn't happen. But is that enough to completely dismiss this like some people have? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. It didn't make a slight bit of difference, to be quite honest with you.
They rectified the aromatic syndrome, though, didn't they?
Yeah, Picard was still Picard. He was proper
Yeah.
Picard in this, right? he gained some authority back, which I thought he lost in the first 2 seasons anyway before I gave up
Yeah.
on it. But in this he did, and to have the old I've heard that he wasn't in favor of a reunion. This is why it
Oh,
went the
he's
way
eating
it
his
did.
words now. He's eating his words now.
Um, and I know Jordan Sirius won that was the case, but as soon as you brought Whoopi Goldberg back for season 2, and then you bring Q back, you knew then it was gonna happen. It was always gonna happen. And by the way, that trailer did this series justice.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say that the trailer probably let fans down a little bit. But it gave you enough, and it gave me enough to give this a go. Listen, if I hadn't watched that trailer, I wouldn't be sitting here tonight talking about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's as simple as that. But I was willing to not listen to anybody and to watch that trailer. And it was the best decision that I ever made.
Yeah.
And this is why I will say to all you guys, even no matter what I say about the castings with Doctor Who and stuff like that, and I've made this clear anyway, it's personal opinions, right? I'm still going to give it a go. But don't take my word for it or like that. You've got to go and watch these things for yourself. That's the only way to judge. Now, if someone was to ask me, would you recommend this show? I would absolutely recommend season 3 of Picard. Absolutely. Yeah. If you want good sci-fi, even if you're not a Trek fan, I think this would appeal to you. You probably wouldn't get the nostalgia stuff. And while there is a bit of it, it's not the main thing that gets this going. It does have a good story behind it. All the characters are developed further. We've kind of found out what's been going on with them all since we last seen them. Beverly is probably the character that's changed the most. I'm not saying Beverly changed. I mean, Beverly is still Beverly, but now you've got that added 27 years, and now like she's able to launch torpedoes and she's shooting at, you know what I mean? But we kind of find out why that happened, because she's been moving along with Jack all the time, and she's basically had to up her game.
Yeah.
And it made sense. So like a lot happened to these characters. There's more to this series than people are telling other people out there.
Yeah.
The ones that don't like this just don't like Kurtzman, right?
That's
and
it,
what he's done to Star Trek. And I don't blame them, right? Because I don't like Kurtzman either, right? With Star Trek. I thought he was great with Hawaii Five-O. That's his genre, cop shit, right? That's his genre, right? It's not sci-fi. He's the Chris Chibnall of Doctor Who. But this is Terry's baby.
Yeah.
Right? And Terry is a fan.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
and by the way, there's photographs of Terry with Captain Shaw and with someone else, and they're sitting down watching the finale together, right? After they went to the premiere. So they're back home, because obviously in the UK and America it dropped different times. So they literally did this twice over, right? And thanking fans. And Jerry Ryan especially, talking about how it's been an amazing journey in their family forever, and it's the best moments of our life and all of this. Man, that's what we want to hear.
Exactly.
But Terry needs to be given this new show with 7 of 9. And if it already isn't in the pipeline, if you're waiting for a couple of weeks or whatever to drop that you're doing it, fine, fair enough. But announce it. Announce it ASAP. Get it out there. Telling you now, I'll be watching it. I'll be watching it. I don't care what the naysayers say. I'm pretty sure PD Rich will give it a go as well. And he wasn't too sure coming into this, but he loved it.
Oh,
he loved it. I mean, if you had to listen to other people out there, and I'm not saying you necessarily listen to me, but I did say to you, just go and watch it for yourself, man. It is some of the best Trek in years.
There's 3 people I've got to thank for this. One's you for pushing, goading me into it. 2 is Robert My Burnett, and 3 is Terry Batalis for just producing a bloody good season.
Yeah, Terry deserves an awful lot of credit. It's just a pity that you know, Yeah, you're never going to please anybody, I suppose.
No,
So
this is a problem. I'm quite enjoying the debate in the fandom at the moment because it reminds me of the good old days of Star Trek debating on the message boards. Everyone screaming at each other.
yeah, you don't
Oh,
mind if it's debate, if it's not getting nasty,
yeah,
Um, but to tell people, and we heard this from someone, you tell people if you're watching, you're basically, you
yeah,
know, that's rubbish. This is
yeah,
a separate entity. You've got to praise them, as I said,
yeah,
in my
exactly.
last few streams. You've got to praise these people when they get it right, because how will
Yeah,
they know when? How will they know they get it right if we keep complaining all the time?
yeah,
Right? Fans were correct to criticize Star Trek Discovery, right?
yeah.
Because I didn't like it. It
That
was.
was
It's not
terrible.
Star Trek to me, right?
No,
But it is to some other people out there. That's fine, fair enough. It's just not my cup of tea. Lower Decks is not my cup of tea.
no.
People had every right to complain about that as well. I watched a few
That is to me
episodes
just member
with Lee,
berries.
and we just basically gave up. It was so crass. It was not the type
Yeah,
of comedy that the brand of comedy I wanted to see associated with Star Trek. Right, it wasn't my thing.
yeah,
But I did discover Star Trek Prodigy, which I liked. Right, and for me at the time before this came along, and the Strange New Worlds came along, to me, I was even banging on about this and saying how Star Trek Prodigy, even though it's on Nickelodeon and it's for kids, right?
yeah,
There's stuff there to appeal to adults as well because the writers make sure
yeah,
of that, right? It was actually very good, and I had actually said up until that point that that was the best Trek they had produced,
yeah,
right? And then Strange New Worlds dropped. I watched the first episode and I thought, oh, they've actually done a
yeah,
Star Trek episode where they're optimistic. Wow. I'll
yeah,
watch the second episode. Oh my God. This is actually not too bad. I'll watch the next episode and the next episode. And before you know it, I'm halfway through and I'm like, I'm
yeah,
actually really enjoying this. And then season 3 of Picard. So there's baby steps being made, right? There's no
yeah,
point in criticizing because you hate two people in particular, right? And criticizing the whole brand, right? If there's some elements of the brand that are actually doing well, well,
yeah,
then you should be praising that and
yeah,
encouraging that because then maybe these showrunners and these people that are behind it, the creatives that are behind it, say, oh, they really like that.
yeah,
Maybe we should do more of that. Now, Terry knows now that fans loved what he did because he's been praised left, right, and centre. Of course, there'll be people in it was crap. You don't know what you're doing. That's fair enough. They
yeah,
can have that opinion. But overall, the majority of the opinion, right, has been positive, right?
yeah,
So he knows now that, well, if he creates more of this kind of stuff, if he's allowed to do it,
yeah,
then maybe the streaming platform they're on, mightn't be in such trouble if they continue down this path. So we need to encourage that. We can't just
exactly.
keep slamming them every time because then they won't give a crap like they do now. With some show, they won't give a crap and they say, well,
Yeah,
why should we make an effort then?
they'll just cancel it.
Right? This way, we've shown Terry, yeah, we love it. Now we want more of that type of Trek, please. So you did a little cutscene at the end. Right. That's what you're proposing. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
bring it on. Right. Give me more of that. I'm on for that. Yes, please. 7 of 9 as captain with Rafi as the number 2 and Jack, which I do kind of funny
instant
because
crush.
he is
Yeah,
ships. He's basically ship's counselor.
yeah. No, he's counselor to the captain. It means he's got to
Yeah, he's
advise the
counsel to
captain.
the captain, but basically it's not the
Captain's counsel.
same kind of counsel to destroy, but still, see,
Technically, it's the
he's there.
captain's PA. That's it.
Yeah, so basically, there 7 of 9 will bounce ideas off Jack. She trusts Jack. See, they
Yeah,
forged this. They forged this throughout the season, and it's just brilliant. We got to when the Super Mario everybody's praising it. I'm glad, right? The
yeah,
only ones that aren't are the critics. They're criticizing it because they're a bunch of idiots and they don't know what people actually want. Well, they
yeah,
do, but they don't want us to have it because they're miserable in their own
yeah,
little lives, so they want everybody else to be miserable. But this is the
yeah,
direction to go. I think, if they get something right, praise it. Rightly
Yeah,
so. If you're still angry with Discovery, and I know a new season of Discovery is coming out, and if people
a
still want to
final
hate on it,
season, a
go
final.
ahead. Hate on it. If you don't like it, fine. Do what you do, right? But when they do things like Picard, come on. Season 3 especially. Forget about the first 2 seasons, but when they do something like Season 3 of Picard, praise it to the hilt.
Yeah,
Because it'll encourage them to do more, hopefully. They'll look at this. Well, hopefully, that's the plan. They mightn't then continue to do crap, but at least we tried,
yeah.
you know?
At least we got one good season, At least we got something, something we can look up to.
Can
Oh,
try read Picard's and Data's thoughts. I thought he was an android. No, she could read
don't think she should read
Picard's thoughts,
data. She should
or
read cards.
did she?
I'm not sure, but I
I
think the
don't
whole
think she did. No, she didn't. I'm pretty sure she didn't.
yeah. No, that's why she was getting frustrated in the end in the counselling session because she can't read data.
Oh, that's what it was. So she could actually, yes, speed it up because she knew what he was thinking.
She couldn't
She
read
could have
him.
gave him the solution I made because those counselling sessions were going on for nearly 3. Oh, look, we're 2 hours over time again.
Yeah.
Again, like
She
it's
had
like,
actually be a counsellor.
and then Riker is there smiling his face off his date. Is how did it go? Yeah, great. And Diana's face is just priceless.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's things like that as well. They got the characters. Terry understood the characters. The actors and actresses that came back to play these characters fell straight back into them, even though they are a bit older. You never thought they went away. There is, it would have been nice to see Captain Shaw, maybe the Titan Adventures, but now we kind of know where they want to go with this. I don't think anybody will have a problem, to be honest, with 7 of 9. It would have been nice to see Todd get a show. I think it'd be very difficult to give him a prequel now with the Titan because the way the events came out, I don't think we could do it now. But there's so much potential. And if they just let, hopefully, Terry tap into this a little bit more, we are going to be in for some more great Trek. And remember, yes, Paramount plus Paramount, whoever, who else is in charge? CBS. Is it CBS? Paramount? Right? Listen, I know they've still a long way to go before they win everybody over.
Yeah.
Right? And they do. But Terry has shown, I think, the rest of them up in that company, to be quite honest with you. I know he wouldn't want me to say that because, he's been very respectful and that's what I like about him as well. But to be quite honest with you, to me personally, him and his team that he has assembled are the best people in there right now.
Yeah.
And it would be absolutely, and I'll just say this, it will be absolutely diabolical if Alex Kurtzman does not see this now. If Alex Kurtzman lets his ego get the better of him, well, then that's it. If Alex Kurtzman is pragmatic and looks at this and says, okay, let's go on. I can still do my stuff. No, if people want to watch his stuff or not, that's up to them. But at least we'll have something that we can get behind, which I'm going to call it Terry Trek.
Yeah.
Right? If we can get some more Terry Trek, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm down for it. So listen, 10 out of 10 for this season. Well deserved. For this episode, I'm going to give it a 10. I can't even drop a point. I can't. I don't even know where I would drop a point for because there's no point to be dropped. Look, it was everything that I wanted and a little bit more. I didn't think they could even do any better than episode 9 because episode 9 is up there.
Yeah.
Without doubt. I mean, the whole season in itself. Yes, people say episode 7 and 8 are the weakest ones. I disagree. I think why people are saying are the weakest ones is because there wasn't too much in the ways of going on, action-wise and all that other stuff. but the
Yeah.
dialogue itself, the conversations in those
Yeah.
2 episodes is a masterclass. Seriously, go
Yeah.
back and watch it. I'm watching this series again from tonight. As soon as I leave here, I'm episode 1, bang, and I'm
Yeah.
going to start again. I'm going to watch as many as I can before I fall asleep because I need to chill. I've had one of those days. You might notice, obviously, I've been sounding very cheery, but I'm not very cheery today. I've had a bit of a rotten day. I won't get into it, but a bit of a shitty one. And I've got a headache as well, which is not helping. But persevered, and I've done it because I wanted to come on here tonight to talk about this, to be quite honest with you, because I really did enjoy it, and I can't wait. I hope Terry gets to do more, and the sooner the better. They announce this new 7 of 9 led Star Trek show with the new Enterprise. What's the letter now? G.
G. Yeah.
Enterprise G. So yeah, bring it on. I don't know though. I will say though, do I like the new? Do I like? I mean, the Titan. We were all saying it's a beautiful ship, but I mean, they have rebranded, so I'm not like I kind of look. I can kind of understand other fans' reaction to it. Or they just rebranded. I get it to a certain extent, but I have got grown very fond of that ship while we were watching that series. So I think it is fitting that it is. And it was the ship that 7 of, and it is because Captain Shaw's ship, what better way to kind of seal the whole
Yeah.
redemption of 7 of 9? Because he even says it, she should be captain. It's her ship. It's her ship, man. So it's only right that that is the Enterprise. But give me 7 of 9. Give me more
Yeah.
7 of
Yeah.
9 than Jerry Ryan. And can I just say, Jerry Ryan, right? I just want to say, as someone that has loved your acting on Voyager, right? And people go on about your looks and all of that stuff and the cat suits and all of that. I never, look, I was a kid. I'm not going to lie. I was a teenage boy, beautiful looking woman, not going to lie. But for me, I always found, especially in Voyager, that you are one of the greatest actresses. And you are actually, I hate to say this, better than Voyager. I think you're very talented. You played 7 of 9, the amount of acting range in Voyager,
Yeah.
especially that episode where you played multiple characters because
Oh
your
yeah.
Borg implant was taken over, and you became different. I mean, Jerry, you're just absolutely superb. I always thought, you know, you are the best. You, Janeway,
Yeah.
anyway. I'm not going to slate me captain because she was
Yeah.
great as well. But I have to be honest, I honestly think you are brilliant. And for me, this has been, look, it was great seeing the old crew
Yeah.
of TNG back, right? Great to see Riker, the whole lot of them, Geordie, Worf. It
Yeah.
was a pleasure. But for me, the biggest one was you, Jerry. 7 of 9. This the proper 7 of 9, and I'm just so glad that you are that. Hopefully, you get your own show, and if you're not even considering it or you don't want to do it because it takes up time, I would ask you to consider or
Yeah.
reconsider, um, because this is what fans want. And
Yeah.
this is what I want, and this is what I think your character deserves, but I think it's what you deserve.
Yeah.
Um, this has been a long time coming, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Um, so bring it on. Enterprise G, 7 of 9. I don't care what you call it. Just get that crew back, the same crew that we seen at the end, and I'm happy. And let's bring the new adventures because you know what's going to happen, don't you? She won't be uniform like the rest of Starfleet. She'd be like, I'm going to say it and people are going to hate this,
Sure.
right? She's going to be a male version. No, this guy wreck people says she's going to be a female version of Kirk.
Pretty much. Yeah.
because he broke the rules all the time. Let's
Yeah.
be honest, he did.
So
He broke
Janeway,
the
so there we
rules
go.
all the time. That's exactly what she's going to be like. She's going to be like the female version of Kirk, but she'll be 7 of 9. And if
Yeah.
you've watched Voyager, you'll know what 7 of 9 is like. Yes, obviously it's been a few years, and you know, she's embraced her humanity a little bit more. In Voyager, you see her starting that journey, and you know, she does have some major moments in Voyager. But for me, Jerry Ryan, yeah, absolute star. And bring it on. And to the rest of us, Patrick, Jonathan, and all the rest of us, Brent, and what's his face? I can never. Michael Dorn, isn't it?
Michael, yeah.
Yeah, and then we've got what's his
Marina.
face? Yeah, Marina. We've got Marina and
Gates.
Gates McFadden and Geordie.
Yeah, LeVar.
LeVar. Great seeing them all back.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And Patrick Stewart, especially you as well, because you know, we could understand why you'd want your own series and not have a tie in to TNG because you wanted to kind of respect the legacy. That was one of the reasons behind it as well. I don't think it was the fact that he didn't want anybody there. I think he did want to respect the legacy as well of the show, which is fair. You can understand to a certain extent. Maybe when he saw the scripts, he probably thought, maybe I'll have to do that. But definitely for season 3, this adds to the legacy. This does not taint the legacy. And this is a fitting tribute and an end to that crew.
Yeah.
A proper end. Because I don't think Nemesis, I have a soft, PD Rich has a soft spot for Beyond. I have a soft spot for Nemesis. Right? And I know everybody hates that movie, but I have a soft spot for Nemesis. And I didn't think it was, for me, it wasn't the perfect send-off for that crew. So this kind of rectifies that. Even though I have a soft spot for Nemesis, this kind of this season of Picard rectifies that. So I'm going to shut up now and hand you over to PD Rich, who is going to tell you everything that he wants to tell you about this series. And please, as well, in the chat, if you could do me a favor, and you too, PD Rich, because I've said what this show has meant to me this season, and what I'm hoping for. So if you guys in the chat as well can actually tell me if you did enjoy this series, of course, give us your highlights and tell us, what this show meant to you, if it meant that at all. So PD, go ahead there while I throw up a few of the.
Okay, well, to me it was about going full circle. It was about completing the circle. It was about family. It was about that one last adventure. It was just Star Trek. I think is the way to see it. It was just, I think Terry has done a magnificent job on this. I also have to congratulate the way he's been dealing with the fans on Twitter, because he's been absolutely so diplomatic compared to like other showrunners that just shout at people. I mean, I know he's had to ban a few people, but he's just been so diplomatic. He's been a proper showrunner, and I haven't seen that since like the end of Enterprise with Brannon Braga, and even Brannon Braga and Seth on the Orville. I mean, I haven't seen any sci-fi this good since the Orville.
Yeah.
I think Red Dwarf. I think the last Red Dwarf was like the best thing I've seen in ages. It's been amazing. It's been a proper trek, an absolute proper trek for the stars. This one, and I'm have to say, I got a lot of good words for Todd Stashwick as well, who played Shaw, because he played the character so well. Someone who's just come out of PTSD himself. He played that character perfectly. He got everything right about having PTSD, and he just went with it. And it's a shame they killed his character off, because I'd love to have seen Shaw as Captain of the Enterprise.
Oh man, that actually did kill me. I'm not going to lie, because I didn't think. I mean, I liked him from day one. I didn't actually think that his death would affect me as much as it did. But it did, because I was kind of thinking as well, because we were all thinking Titan, him, 7 of 9, it'd be great. But then when he killed them off, I was like, Terry, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, don't kill Shaw. He's good. He's actually a good guy. He's misunderstood. He's a misunderstood hero. He's like, great guy. I mean, Tom Stashwick has been at all the premieres and everything. He's actually a real geek. He's a super geek.
Yeah, he is. He was talking about, I think, Warhammer the other day as well, man. He really is, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about his Mego figures. He was talking about his Mego figures, I think, to somebody I was watching an interview. But he's the first three, his Kirk Spock and McCoy Mego figures from the 70s. Oh, he's a real geek. But yes, I think this is, and behind the scenes as well, you've had the Akudas working on this. You've had so many old faces. You had Doug Drexler. Doug's been very outspoken about it and said this should have been the path that they should have taken from day one. I mean, it's just, this is the this is an anniversary event I've seen. To me, this is just a TNG anniversary event, and it's just been amazing. It's been a roller coaster ride. Okay, sometimes it has been a bit. It has been like watching the greatest hits of TNG movies, but I mean, I have to say, I'm a massive fan of the TNG movies. So to me, it's just been absolute, just a thrill ride from day one.
But I think that was the whole point of this particular season. It was obviously they wanted the TNG nostalgia, but it wasn't just paying homage to the show; it was paying homage to the movies as well. You're absolutely spot on,
everything.
But I think that's what that was the point of it. You know what I mean? That was the point of it. This was one last hurrah. This was like, but this could have very easily failed if it wasn't written well. This is the thing though. And this is why I hate people saying it was just member. It wasn't, because it was written well. It was definitely written well. The characters were developed. There was some great. I mean, Jack and Picard had some great moments, man.
Yeah.
They all had some great moments. They all had their individual scenes as well. It was like, this was well. Look, you could even tell this cast this has definitely made them. They'd separated over the years. They've come back for this. Yeah. You could tell by them they've reconnected. They're like a family again. Yeah. They're talking about how this is the greatest experience of their life. They've all enjoyed this. Jonathan has gotten to direct a few of them as well. He's back. Well, he's been directing for a long time, but this could be this could open more doors. I know he's directed on Discovery as well and other shows. And that's fair enough. But the thing about it is, look, this could open the door to a lot more. Yeah. You could have a show as well, by the way. I know you might be doing the Starfleet Academy thing. Fair enough. Yeah. But why not do Starfleet headquarters show? Yeah. Sort of thing. Where you have all the admirals, we're getting the nitty-gritty politics of all the decisions, you know what I mean, that they make and stuff like that.
You find out why admirals become a-holes in the end. That kind of thing, yeah.
That's it. But go on, PD. Sorry, I just.
No, it's fine. There's so much happened here. We've had Data come back. We've had Picard find out what the aromatic syndrome is. We've had him find out about a son he never knew he had. It's all been about family. I mean, Geordie's daughters, and what they said in the episode 9. It's not just that they're a family, but they've got a new family now. Yeah, it's about continuing.
It's about protecting their family. Now, that's what I mean. That's the way they looked at. Even when Beverly looked at Geordie, when Geordie says, "Look, there's no way out of this. Once we fire those torpedoes, that's it." Yeah. Right, and Diana and Beverly kind of look at each other, and then they look at Beverly because then they realize, like, not only is she going to lose Jack, but she's going to lose obviously Picard as well. Like, so I mean, it's like that moment there, and then when she looks at Geordie and she just basically realizes, because someone says it, doesn't it? It's like that's basically the choice we have to make. Our loved ones of the whole galaxy, basically.
Exactly.
And it's just, oh my God, this is what I mean, man. The whole dynamics of this, the moral implications and all, man. There was just so much going on. I just don't get the hate.
They redeemed Ro as well, and they redeemed Raffi.
Maybe I'm not as good as all of these experts, right? I grew up with this show just like you all. Maybe you know the lore better than I do. Fair enough, and I'll never dispute that. but I have watched the show. But you're asking me, right? This was the perfect way for this crew to go out because the Nemesis wasn't it,
Yeah,
right? And I have a soft spot for that movie. Nemesis just wasn't it.
yeah,
So, oh man, this is you could talk all night. But go on, you finish what you have
yeah.
to
I
say
just I
anyway.
just thought it was amazing. I just thought that tribute from Terry of the Enterprise D, bringing it back. I thought that was good. They probably spent most of their budget rebuilding the Enterprise D
But
set.
hold
They
on,
did a
that
perfect
wasn't
job.
done for a gimmick.
No,
Oh,
that
by
was
the way, because that could have very easily became a gimmick,
yeah,
but it didn't. But when that beauty comes out of the starbase,
yeah,
when that beauty just comes out of that, when
yeah,
Picard gives the go ahead, when the lights come on, oh
yeah.
my god, man, we knew it was coming though.
Oh
This
yeah,
was the
I thought
thing.
it was
Can
coming.
I just say though, sometimes it was predictable,
Yeah,
right? But can I just say, when we say predictable, a lot of people think that's negative, right? It's not always negative,
no,
right? In some cases, it can be, and we've seen plenty of examples of that.
yeah,
But even though we knew certain things were gonna happen, when they happened, we were still like, "Holy shit!" I did, you know what I mean? It was more than what
yeah,
we expected. That's what I mean about this. Terry just kept delivering. He kept
yeah,
giving us more than what we expected. I mean, I have never been happy with someone in all my life, a showrunner
yeah.
in
He's
all my
great.
life. That's how you do it. Yes,
Good
he has
showrunner.
blocked a few people. It doesn't matter why he has or not. You know,
Yeah.
in fairness, he's been getting it from some corners of the fandom. We
Oh
won't
yeah.
mention names, but
But
you know
from
what side.
what I've seen of him, he's been very diplomatic on Twitter, and I think that's what a showrunner needs to be.
And
He's a
that's what he
model
needs to
showrunner.
be,
Yeah, model showrunner, in my opinion. Brilliant. He's been
right?
great with the fans at the premieres as well. Absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant.
there's nothing wrong with that, right? For
Yeah,
me, look, at the end, some people, you know, that's just the way they are.
yeah,
It's just modern fandom today.
yeah.
What's happened is there's so much of this other
Extremely
crap that's gone
intense.
on
Yeah,
for the last few years. It's radicalized a lot of people,
yeah,
and that's what's happened. And even
yeah,
the side that we're fighting on, that's fighting the side of pop culture. Even some of them have been radicalized, and
yeah,
that's what it is. You can't see anything good. Everything
yeah,
is negative. I mean,
yeah.
you know, you got the praise the channels out there that get criticized a lot, like
Oh,
Gary from Neurotics. You know, he came out
yeah,
and praised this series
yeah,
and gave it its credit where its credit was due. You know, he
yeah,
gets a lot of stick for being negative and stuff like that by
yeah.
corners of the fandom and stuff.
He's been
And you
very
know,
positive about this, though,
but
hasn't he?
he's always been positive about this from death. He wasn't sure at first, like us all, but he heard word just like a lot of other people did that were in the know that this was
Yeah,
an improvement. And it was. And it wasn't just an improvement, it was a huge improvement. It was
yeah,
tenfold. This was like they went back to the drawing board,
yeah.
in my
Seriously,
opinion.
did. Yeah. Him, I think it's David Bliss, I think, who worked on this. Both did it. That's the production designer. And he literally said, I think to David when he said it, I want it like Next Generation. Get it as much like the original Next Generation as you can get it. And they really went out. They went out their way on this one. Everything was
Oh,
just,
man.
just so well done.
I would love to play as the clip where the Enterprise is going through the bar cube.
Oh yeah,
Because again, that's one of my favorite scenes. It's a
yeah,
highlight. To see that beauty just move in ways that I could never do when we were watching the show
yeah.
was just, oh man, I actually got, listen, I have not, right,
Sorry, David Blass on Bliss.
even with Voyager, right,
Yeah,
I came close once to crying on an episode of Voyager. I did, right. I won't lie.
yeah,
It was the episode where Captain Janeway thinks she's dead, but there's an entity that has basically clapped onto her neocortex or something, and
yeah,
they're basically they're trying to revive her. Tuvok and Chakotay's trouble. She thinks she's dead, and she's in this kind of limbo. And this entity is trying to get her to come into his limbo and all of that. And then when the crew are giving their speeches about Captain Janeway, I actually like
Yeah.
literally just But
Yeah.
this is just a whole new level, man.
This was this is this was
That
turning up to
scene, just
11.
the maneuvers. Oh, it was, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sci-fi life is right. It was. It was, man, because we never got to see that because they were
Yeah.
limited by what they could do. But
Yeah.
this was just epic when Data said, "But that's that whole scene," because they're all looking at Data as if he's gone crazy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
My gut tells me I could do it. Trust me, Jordy.
Yeah.
I was like, and then
Yeah.
Jordy goes, maybe trust your gut. And then you
Yeah.
just see the Enterprise. He starts doing the buttons as he does real fast, and then you just see the Enterprise day going in,
Yeah.
and it goes, man. Do you
Yeah.
know what would have made that even better though? But it
What?
wouldn't have happened if some little like if they had some Borg spheres come out or something and start like
Yeah.
shooting at the Enterprise.
Tendrils trying to stop
That
it.
would
Yeah.
have been great. But oh my god. Yeah, Day is brilliant. But I did love that he was finding humanity. He got what he finally wanted, and then
Yeah.
he said it's very hard. He finally understood what it was like to be human. And that's
Yeah.
why he was getting counseling because he can't
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah. And Troy gets to counsel him for 2 hours because
Oh
he can't
man.
read him.
But it's so Data though,
Yeah.
because this is the new version now. This is he
Yeah.
finally perfected the Matrix. So this is the proper Elon. What's his name? Song Professor
Sung. Yeah. Oh, it was
Zoom.
Alton
He
Sung. It was
he
Junior Sung's son.
perfected the Matrix this time, and
Yeah.
basically he let the Matrix decide. Gave a free will. So
Yeah.
Data and Law were fighting it out with each other, and
Yeah.
even that scene, and that wasn't even in the finale, but even
Yeah.
that scene, I didn't know what the fuck was going on there.
I
Thought
cried
Data had
after that scene.
died. I was devastated. I was like, and then literally I see the blue lights, and I'm like, oh, he's alive. Data won. I was like, oh man, I was shouting like this, and that's when Cheryl was going, what's going on? What's going on, man? I've never listened. It's been a long time since Cobra Kai is another time that I felt this way about TV show, and there's another TV show that I watched called From, which I think is absolutely brilliant, right? But seriously, I have not felt this way about Trek in a long, long time. And I just had every emotion.
Yeah, that
I
felt
had
like
every
Star Trek again after all
had
these
every
years.
emotion. And you know what? Again, Terry, absolute legend. What we're gonna have to do is obviously when Chris does have time next week, hopefully, we'll have to talk. We'll have to talk about this again, and we'll bring PD on and some other guests on as well to talk about it. But Data became a happy man that day. That scene was Data handled. Law was great. I know because he kept handing him his memories. I was like, why is Data just giving up so easy? Because even Geordie says he's just gave up, and I was like, Data, don't give up. I was like, I was really angry. Like, don't give Data. What are you doing, man? Come on, this is your chance to actually, survive. Come on. And he was just handing Laura, and I was like, what is he playing at? And then for a split second, and that's what changed it. Laura actually felt something for him, and that's what made Data win. Oh, that was just glad. That was just clever because he was giving him his memories, but in reality, he was still giving them to himself. You know what I mean? It was very clever the way they done it, but man, seriously, man.
I've also got a quick mention to Stephen Barton and Frederick Weidman. That soundtrack is absolutely excellent.
Yeah. This
music so Star Trek. It's Star Trek. The soundtrack is just Star Trek.
Absolutely epic from start to finish. No, seriously. The first episode, as I said, hooked me.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait for the next episode.
It's episode 2 that really hooked me.
And I'm really glad. Can I just say, and Netflix, if you're listening, do me a favor.
It's
for the last season of Cobra Kai,
Oh yeah.
Don't drop the whole lot like you do. right? Drop it once a week, an episode a week. I'm telling you now, you need the hype. You need the
Yeah.
hype to maintain. When you do this, listen, I was in favour of that way of doing things. Just you have the show done and drop it all in one, and then people can binge. Right? The binge model worked for a time.
Yeah.
Binge model now, in my opinion, has run out of steam.
Yeah.
I think if you drop episodes weekly, you keep fans talking for that week until the next episode, right? So it's
Yeah.
keeping the fandom going. It's keeping everybody chatting until next week's episode, and then the cycle continues and continues and continues. You drop a show straight away, within 2 or 3 days after everybody has binge watched it, they'll talk about it for what, another further week or two, and then that's it, it's done. They won't talk about it again. Nobody's talking about the last season of Cobra Kai.
No.
Right? Nobody's talking about it.
You trickle it out because also if you just drop it all at once, that's it. They're just going to binge it, and you're going to have nothing. You're going to need more content to fill.
The final look, I can't complain about the finale. We can't.
No,
it was well done. There was nothing else he could have done. I mean, he could have added more, but it would have been a bit over the top, in my opinion.
I love that ending. I love the ending.
The ending where they're all sitting around the table. It is fitting.
It's all good things, but it also reminds me of Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, where they're around the campfire. It was just perfect.
It was. And I say it was a little homage to that as well, in fairness. But that is the way, that was a nice little way to have them all sitting around the table, playing cards, chatting while the titles are going. And then all of a sudden, then the screen just goes black.
Yeah.
And then we get the next scene.
Yeah.
Which we said, which was
craps all over season 2.
Well,
that was a bit of a waste of time, wasn't it? Season 2.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's a little. See, it's a little win, but the other side are not happy with just a little win. That they want the whole thing eradicated, but it's not going to happen. It's like Series 30. It's like the Jodie Whittaker's era. No matter how many fans want that retconned or completely wiped from history, it's not going to happen.
It's like also the analogy of what this whole season was about. It was about the Borg being like communist, getting into the kids' minds and turning them against each other. It was
but that to me, I don't know what Terry was trying to do with that, but I found that funny that the youth were the ones that were taken over by the Borg, and all the old fogies, we were all right. Like,
it's the old people have to sort it out. The old Generation X.
The old generation had to sort it out, and guess what? We did. We did.
That's why the last episode's called The Last Generation,
Yeah. So brilliant, man. We're very well done. So what would you give it? What would you give the episode itself out of 10? And what would you give the episode?
I'll give the episode a 10 because even some bits I wasn't too thrilled with, but it was still good Star Trek altogether. But you know what? I'm going to give the entire series an 11.
Wow!
I'm going to break the freaking scale on this one.
That actually says a lot for you because people mightn't believe this, but PD is a bit militant about his Star Trek as well.
Oh yeah,
he's like some of these people that hate it. But the thing about PD though is that PD is willing, to take the deep dive, and he will say whether it's good or not. Right, that's the difference. He's not just hating on it because he hates Alex Kurtzman and Eva Goldsman, wherever they're bleeding called, right? The two people that everybody hates, right? Okay, he's willing to separate that and give Terry a shot. Yeah, and Terry did the Star Trek fandom, in my opinion, proud with that. And Q was like, well, Picard is too old now. But I know Tormenty's boy. You know what? I've always liked him as an actor. Yeah. I love Q. And Q showed up in Voyager as well.
I know. I have to say this though. I mean, on the politics side of it is, do you honestly think Akiva Goldsman or Alex Kurtzman are going to be able to beat this? Because I don't think they will.
Well, I think Terry has set the benchmark.
Oh yeah, he set a very high bar for them to try and beat.
But
Very high
if
bar.
the Mormons are true about the other shows, like
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds, apparently that's a huge improvement as well.
Oh yeah, got Klingons back now. Proper
Then
Klingons.
we could be onto something here. This is why I say we should praise when they get it right.
Yeah.
Still criticize when they get it wrong.
Exactly.
But praise when they get it right. Absolutely.
I think we should be fans
all
again
time.
and not militants, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think we should be balanced,
Yeah.
and if something is good, praise it. If something is bad, then go ahead, beat it up to your heart's content, folks, because that's what you're entitled to do as fans. But I could tell that this series definitely showed
Yeah.
the ones that have an agenda and the
Yeah.
ones that were being honest. And I
Yeah.
think it's opened a lot of people's eyes, opened this, because, some of them have a vested interest in staying negative
Yeah.
all the time, folks.
Yeah.
Remember that,
Yeah.
right?
It's not good.
It doesn't pay them to be good, to be positive about Atom.
Yeah, someone told me recently, this is a bit of psychology for you. I mean, the problem thing about negative thoughts is they're very easy to lock onto. You've got to think of something a bit more positive to get out of it. Got a bit of counselling advice for you. But yes, they're locked onto these negative thoughts constantly locking onto these negative thoughts. They just get worse. You end up digging yourself into a hole in the end. It's not good. It's not healthy.
Yeah, I'll watch Strange New Worlds anyway to try boost up the numbers.
Yeah.
Be quite honest, because I enjoyed the fourth season. Yes, it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Yes, there's still a lot of fine tuning to be done to
Yeah.
that show. But for a fourth season, and I like Aniston Mount, I think he's a great captain.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not,
plays a good
I'm not
part.
gonna lie, I think he does play a good part. So on that basis, even the guy that plays Spock is played slightly different. He plays it
Yeah.
more real, if you want to put it that way, but still has that modern twist to it. I have to say, I do like Spock's missus. I'm not going to lie. I think she's
But we
hot.
know this is a different universe now because that version of the Enterprise wasn't there in the Fleet Museum. So we know it's a different universe. It's not affecting this universe now.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that. But I'm gonna give it, and I like his Pike. Yeah, same here, man. So I'm gonna support him and the show that he's in, because I like him and I did enjoy the fourth season. As I said, it still has a lot of room of improvement. But you see, 4 seasons are always generally, test the water sort of thing.
Oh yes, I was going to say something about that. Do you find with Star Trek shows in general, it's always the third season that makes or breaks them?
Yeah.
Always. It's always season 3.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Particularly with Voyager. I think the first 2 seasons are kind of dire.
Yeah.
But season 3 is where there's a marked improvement.
Yeah.
And
same with Enterprise.
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine and Next Generation both picked up in the third season. Always that third season with Star Trek. Always is. It's make or break.
So I won't judge Strange New Worlds too hastily. As I said, I did like it.
Let's hope
but
they have
anyway,
a good third season.
Anyway, we're gonna leave it there because I'm gonna go now, and as I said, I'm gonna watch some Trek. I've just had a bit of a crappy day, as you do, so I'm just gonna chill. And stuff. So thank you for joining me. And PD, I'm sorry Chris couldn't make it tonight. Work got in the way, and it was Lee's birthday, so Lee wasn't here tonight either because, as I said, he was celebrating his birthday. Hopefully next week we will have Chris back and stuff. So that'll be absolutely fantastic. But I want to thank my special guest tonight, which is PD Rich.
No worries.
And if obviously we will have to cover this again for when Chris is back. And as I said, we will see if there's anybody that wants to come on, and we'll bring them on. So that's me done until Monday. So I hope you enjoy our weekend. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all of that. And we have actually officially, just to let you know, we've officially passed 2,200 subs. We got past it now. So yeah, that's a bit of a thing I thought I'd let you know because you have all helped grow this channel. So
Yeah.
we've gained something like 20 odd subscribers over the last week. I wonder why that is, but there
Yeah.
you go. I think the Twitter thing is helping. Um, but yeah, so I want to thank anybody that's new that has subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. We are here from Monday, Tuesdays. No, Monday, yeah, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So come and join us. We got plenty going on. We talk Friday nights. We talk a little bit of Hollywood. This week, obviously, because it was the season finale of
Yeah.
Picard, we wanted to talk about it. So yeah, we'll be back to the Hollywood stuff. There's already some interesting stuff that's dropped, folks. So we'll have a bumper Friday night contact for you next week because we'll have 2 weeks of news to try and get through. So come and join us for that next Friday. But we are back on Monday for the new Who's On. So come and join me, as I said. And I want to give a special shout out to Scottish Stavros and friends wrestle with pop culture, and of course, Gobby Guy, Dan from the Space Book,
Yeah.
and PD is also going to give a few mentions there as well. And what you call it, that's me done. So yeah, you can catch me on Noel Zone on Twitter. We are now Noel Zone on Twitter, not the Tarda Zone anymore, because I'm going to be talking other stuff on Twitter. So the Twitter account is not really exclusively for Doctor Who anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've decided that I decided after the Jinx Monsoon actually announcement that I was going to rebrand, and that's exactly what I did. So I want to thank Chris Persia, who has put together me little wallpaper and me profile picture on Twitter. So thank you for that, Chris. Really do appreciate it. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter now because everybody calls me Noel Zone anyway. So I
Yeah.
said, you know what, kind of makes sense to call the Twitter account, but leave this the same, the channel the same. We'll talk about maybe a future down the line what people think. I don't think people would want me to change the name of the channel. I think that'd be a step too far because people were already wondering what was happening with the Twitter. So no, I'm not going to stop talking about Doctor Who. But what I'm saying is that my Twitter account won't be exclusively for Doctor Who because there have been people saying, "Well, what you talking about politics if you're a Doctor Who account?" But I'm not really a Doctor Who account. I never really intended to be because I have kind of spoke about other stuff before, not as much, but I will be a lot more now, and we'll be covering other stuff as well. So that's why we changed. We wanted it to be separate to the channel. So it's Noel's on Twitter. So come and join me there if you haven't followed me on Twitter, and we're gaining followers on Twitter as well. I don't know what's happened. But it seems that one single tweet has upset the whole one side of a fandom, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden I have people flocking to me. I mean, it was a tweak, it obvious ourselves.
Yeah. We don't always get it right, but we try.
Well, I mean, I was angry,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. You speak your mind when you're angry.
and I kind of not backing down. I stand by what I said.
No.
Um,
True to your
I
words.
do believe that Doctor Who is being used as a platform. I won't go into the rest of the tweet because I won't get away with it
Yeah.
on YouTube. But I'm not going to back down on what I said. I will double down and I will say I think Doctor Who is being used, and it's not being used in a way that I think is appropriate. And
Yeah.
I think fans should start speaking up because
Yeah.
we've had 5 years of nonsense and it looks like it could get worse. Obviously, we're only judging by what we see right now. Of
Yeah.
course, as I've said, and I've always made the point, we won't know until we actually watch. But right now, there's been a reaction. positive,
Yeah.
negative, mostly negative, I would have to say. And
Yeah.
there's a reason for that, because not
Yeah.
all of society is on board with certain stuff that's going on in when it's concerning our children.
Yeah.
And then when we see those type of things then being incorporated into
Yeah.
Doctor Who, then people are going to speak up. So yes, I'm not going to uh,
Yeah.
apologize
I
or
mean, at the end
or
of the
take
day,
back what I said.
yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm doubling down and I'm
Yeah.
telling you that's what I believe is happening now. It's up to
Yeah.
RTD and
Yeah.
Co to prove me wrong,
Yeah.
right? And to prove, and by the way,
Yeah.
these are all outraged because I said what I said, right? But I'm going to tell you out straight now, okay? I'm not the only one that's thinking it. I've just had the balls to say what the rest won't say. I've said it, right? I'm not taking it back.
Yeah.
It's staying up. If my Twitter account gets suspended because I know you are trying to get it, I have a backup. It doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Yes, I've got 40,000 tweets on it, but who cares? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who cares? I could start again. No big deal. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm going to speak my mind. Right? That's how I feel that what's happening with Doctor Who. I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. It's staying up. Right? You can report it all you want. I don't give, as I said in the tweet after, 0 F's given. Right? I don't care. We're sick and tired of being censored, and fans are sick and tired and afraid of being silenced. I will not be silenced. Okay? Now, as I said what I said. Now it's up to RTD now to prove that he's not using Doctor Who.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
come on, Russell. It's a family entertainment show. It's not a gay club, please.
Okay.
And that's coming from a gay man.
So, no, I'm not going to take it back. Don't regret what I said. At the end of the day, that's how I was feeling, and that's what I feel is happening. Right? Now it's up to RTD to prove me wrong. And if I'm wrong, as I always do on this channel, but you never bother, if I ever do get anything wrong, by the way, I do come on.
Yeah.
And I will say I got it wrong. And I'll apologise. Sometimes I can be stubborn, as people know. But at the end of the day, I will do the right thing and apologise. But I won't apologise if I don't think I have anything to apologise for, and I don't have anything to apologise about that tweet. Simple as that. Seriously, it took one tweet, right?
Yeah.
They've left me alone, right? They've left me alone for God knows how long. I've even forgotten they existed. I tweet out one tweet, and literally the last couple of days, I have had the biggest shitstorm since I first started on YouTube when people start learning about the channel.
Yeah.
One tweet it took. One tweet. You just need to get
How
over
soft skinned they are.
Right? At the end of the day, as I even said, and I'll double down on this, the ones that are complaining about that tweet have something to hide.
Yeah.
It's always the loudest ones that have the most to hide. Right?
Yeah.
That's why they're so
Exactly.
outraged.
It's called projection. Yeah.
Right?
There's so much
So I
in
stick
film
by
and
what I
TV
said.
industry.
I'm not going to back down for nobody. Because you know what? It's probably all thought that, oh, Noel's kind of a bit soft. Noel doesn't, he's not as this, that, and the other, right? Just put it this way, right? The one thing is this, right? I've learned over the last few years when and when not to react.
Yeah.
Okay, yous haven't. Yous are still doing the same thing.
They'll never learn.
It took one tweet, right? I could put up a tweet now and yous would react to that if I wanted to push the boat even further, because that's how sad yous are. Right, yous are spying on me accounts. They're telling people to report me. blah, blah, blah. And you know what? You might succeed actually in getting the Twitter account taken down. But as I said, do I sound like a guy that actually cares? Not anymore. Yous have done yous a damage. The best thing, I had someone, right? Actually, I'll mention them by name because if they want to play games with me, that's fine. But there's an account on Instagram that calls themselves the Tweet Thief, and they've been sending me DMs on Twitter, right? Calling me the usual names, and I put up photographs to show, well, this is what you're supporting, right? I showed the mutilated bodies, right, of what
Oh
they
god.
support. Do you know what? Totally ignored the photographs start going on. Why do you have photographs of underage kids on your phone? Went straight to the, oh, look, he must be public photographs, by the way. They're public
Oh,
photographs that are on social media and that are easily Googled because these are kids that were brainwashed,
I know.
right? Tried to turn it, but totally ignored what I was showing them in the photographs,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah, this is why I'm speaking up, right? And if you just want to know the truth, I've seen what's been happening over the last couple of weeks and months, and I've kept my mouth shut. I've bit my lip, but when I see women getting tomato soup thrown over them, and I see women being constantly bashed, and then when I see those photographs, and I've seen a lot more, by the way, of even worse situations where some of the surgery has actually gone wrong and they've infected bodies. And I've got to say, that made a huge impact on me. And,
Yeah.
I decided that enough was enough. I'm not staying silent anymore. They can call me transphobic all they want. I'm not. Right? You're an adult, do whatever the feck you want. Right? As soon as you just had anything to do with kids and start trying to say that kids could do this, this is when we had an issue. I'm not
Yeah.
staying silent anymore. I'm going to speak up. Right? But I won't do it here on this YouTube channel because I know you'll be waiting for the chance to have anything that I said taken down. That's why I'll be doing my live streams on Twitter. Because I'm not stupid. Right? I know how to play the game on YouTube. There's certain things you can't talk about on YouTube,
Yeah.
and certain things you can't say about it on YouTube, but you can certainly say it on Twitter. So I'll be more vocal about it, and that's why I'm vocal about it. So you know what? You can't come at me. I've been called every name. You have called me sexist, bigot. I was a white supremacist. I was even Satan at one time. I've been called the bad Germans. Been called
Oh, hasn't
transphobic,
everybody?
sexist. I've been called every name. Right? You have done everything to me. Right? So, like, I don't know. Like, just get on with it. Right? My Twitter is my Twitter, right? Even some were complaining, oh, look, he's censoring people. No, my Twitter's for people who follow me. So this is the thing. The people I follow get access to me tweets, and that's the way it should be. Right? That's the way it should be. It's not for anybody else out there. Right? If they want to follow me, that's fine. But if I don't want to follow them, then I have that right and that option. I also have the right and the option to make sure that my tweets go up, that they're not being trolled. Right? So that's why I do it. So my followers can go in and tweet to their heart's content and reply to my tweets without being harassed by some little troll. So they're even complaining when I just allow people that I follow to respond to me tweets because they're so obsessed. You just need to get over it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not us the ones that are real. I'm afraid it's you
right?
guys.
At the end of the day, right? Until RTD proves otherwise, right now I'm saying things that I do not like, and a lot of fans out there do not like. Right? So far, up until everything else, it was fine. And then these last few decisions that he's made, people are starting to question him, rightly so, because the activism that these people support that are now in the show, right, are things that are up for debate in society right now. And that's trans issues and trans stuff got to do with kids and and exposing kids to drag queens. Now, I always hear the other side, which is very interesting. Let me just say this, right? He's always keep bringing up drag queens and panto. Right, I'm going to tell you now, right? I've been to a panto and I've also been drag shows. Right, I worked as a DJ in the 2000s, and I worked in gay bars, and I worked everywhere, right, where I could get work, and I was DJing. I've watched drag shows live. There's a huge difference between drag and pantomime, right? Drag, two completely different artists. They're two completely different and separate from each other, right? And this is and Jinx falls under the cabaret, under that adult entertainment thing. And then when you see the tweets from that person, Jinx, right, talking about glory holes and talking about how men should be allowed into women's bathrooms. I'm sorry, these are issues in society that people are debating, but you guys are called, oh, you're right wing. Oh, you're a bigot. Oh, you're just transphobic. There's nothing transphobic for wanting to defend women's rights. There's nothing transphobic from wanting to defend our kids from this ideology, right? That's the bottom line, right? And if you don't understand that in society that not everybody is on board with this, well, then you will understand why some people in the fandom have a problem with Jinx and have a problem with Seuss because she's a trans activist, right? Okay, because to some people, trans activists are doing a lot of damage and kids are suffering because of it, and women, right? Women's space is being invaded, right? With men. Men have no right to be in women's bathrooms, and I'm a bloke. No right. They've no right to be in women's sports either. Okay, I'm a man. I'm telling you, they don't.
Well, the problem is,
there's a physical disadvantage. Don't care what anybody says. There is, right, and it's not fair, right?
Well, the problem is, mate. The big problem with all this is the other side won't discuss this. There's no grounds being drawn. There's no middle ground being drawn.
That's what I mean. You can't discuss it with
them.
Fight.
That's
it. So they want to call me names and try silence me. Go ahead. I'll be back on Twitter anyway. Got me second account that's been up over a year, so it's grand. I've got that second account. We're all good, right? If I have to start again from scratch and regain all my followers again, that's fine. That's no problem. Right? Still not going to stop talking about the issues that mean something to me. Right? And this is why I have a problem with the recent castings. Right? It's not necessarily it's the ideology and the activism that they support. Right? And they're coming into our show now. And we've had 5 years of the old regime shoving down our throats their ideology. I don't want RTD to be doing the same, right? I'm not saying, listen, we all know the RTD's progressive. This is the thing that the other side think, that we don't know that he's progressive. We do. We know that he was very we also know that he was very political, by the way, right?
Yeah.
We have no problem with that. But you know what he did very well during his first era? He wrote some great bloody stories and didn't focus entirely on all of those issues and all of those things and all of that ideology. He blended it in perfectly within the story narrative, the story that he was trying to tell, or whatever the aliens were of the week that were there, right? He incorporated them into his story and did it very successfully, right? The Chibnall era bashed you across the head with it and spoke and got the doctor to speak was on screen, right? Basically breaking that fourth wall, as they say, right?
Yeah.
We don't want RTD to be going down the Chibnall route. We want RTD to go down the route that he did the first time round, right? But with everything that's gone on the last 5 years, of course, as soon as he casts Seuss. Well, he didn't cast Seuss, but as soon as Doomsday,
Big
that's
studios.
when all of this nonsense start going downhill. By the way, when she was announced, and then she started mounting off, and then you had big Finnish writers trying to say, "Oh, she's took on bigger people than the Doctor Who fandom," and compared her to Carrie Fisher. And then what does she go and do? Block everybody. Block everybody. You haven't taken anything bigger than the Doctor Who fandom, because the Doctor Who fandom is the biggest thing. It's the longest running fucking sci-fi show in the world. It is the biggest fandom, right? Bottom line, it is the biggest fandom. So no, you haven't taken on bigger things, right? At the end of the day, if you can't take criticism for your stupid little trailer that you did, well,
Oh, hey,
that's your
Daniel.
problem. That's not ours, right? You should have done better. Simple as that, right? We're sick of mediocre entertainment, right? We've had it for the last 5 years, and we're not going to tolerate it again. And some people say, well, who the hell do you think you are? We're Doctor Who fans. We're the ones that spent all of our hard-earned cash on this and kept this fucking show alive.
Yeah,
that's who
pretty
we
much.
are. So show us some respect. And that goes for the writers. You show the fans respect. And all you little numpties out there in the fandom as well that keep attacking fans, you show us respect. You wouldn't even have a show on people to attack if it wasn't for us. That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for us and the fans even before me that kept this show going. So how dare you? And I applaud RTD and Bad Wolf Studios. You know, you want to be listening and reading the room, right? Because if you don't, it's dead in the water. I don't care that it's on Disney Plus. It's dead in the water. It'll be
Yeah,
like
well,
Star
Disney are in
Wars. It'll
trouble at the
hang
moment.
on Disney Plus, but it'll be there, but it'll be dead in the water. No Doctor Who fan in their right mind will like it, and they'll walk away. And that's what they've done the last 5 years, right? 60 will bring some of them back. And if this whole thing is about debate, to reel us all back in, right, with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, and then to go on this wild feckin' whatever you're going to do with Doctor Who, and it turns out to be the shadow of the show that it was, and it turns out to be something, whatever. It's done. It's done. Oh, you heard even tonight they've got a piano on top of a roof at Newmarket, ready to go for Jinx, because Jinx is going to be playing the piano on top of a roof, which suggests to me a musical episode. Now, we know he's wanted to do it, right? He wanted to do it during his first era, right? I think even Moffat wanted to do one. So this is something that they've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now, look, as I said, in some shows it's worked, and it's been brilliant. But I don't know about Doctor Who. I just don't know. And if it goes wrong, this show is going to become a laughing stock. It already is, right? But it's going to be embarrassing to call yourself a Doctor Who fan. Seriously, we're going to go back to a time where it was embarrassing to say you were a Doctor Who fan. If there is a musical episode, and remember, he banged on about. He wrote one of the episodes that he wrote, some of the best stuff that he wrote. Remember, he went to see her Jinx at this show where they were singing and doing kind of cabaret. This stinks, man. This stinks of a musical episode, and I don't know, man. Musical episode in Doctor Who. Let me know in the chat, because for me it's a no-go. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I did one in Xena. It wasn't very good.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's been a Buffy musical episode as well.
If it's a one-off, fine,
Yeah.
and the rest of the season kind of is strong, then maybe it could go the other way and be absolutely brilliant as well. And we're probably all praising it to the hilt as one of the best Doctor Who episodes. But I just don't see musical and Doctor Who together. And I love musicals, by the way. I think Christian was saying earlier on he doesn't like musicals, but I didn't want to actually admit, but I love musicals. I love the sound of music and stuff, and My Fair Lady and Mary Poppins, the original, and Fiddler on the Roof. That's a deadly musical as well. I love me musicals, man. Um, but musical and Doctor Who, I never thought would be two words that
Chalk and cheese. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Look, it could work, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know. You just give us something, man, will you? He needs to do something. That Blue Peter thing was a letdown today. A competition. You made a big deal. Well, he didn't. The newspaper TV guy made a big deal about it. He didn't make a big deal about it. Sure, I don't think he even mentioned it. But Bad Wolf need to do something big now. Because this isn't going the way now. No. After such a good run, there's doubt now.
Do you know what annoys me, Noel? If it all turns out to be really bad, I'm just going to turn around and say we could have had Joseph Michael Straczynski doing this, but they want to get Russell T Davies back. So it's going to annoy me. But on that note, Terry, if you're not busy, do you want to do Doctor Who in a couple of years' time?
Yeah.
I imagine Terry Matalis doing Doctor Who.
Get him to write a couple of episodes even.
Yeah.
Bring in Peter Jackson.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to direct an episode, didn't he?
He wanted to do an episode. Sure, he did that skit with Peter Capaldi.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen it? Peter Jackson with his daughter, and he's talking to his daughter at a table in his gaff, and you hear retardus in the background. Peter Capaldi just walks into his gaff, and then they just, it's a funny little skit. I can't even play it on the YouTube channel because, unlike the big channels, I can't afford to have my streams demonetized. You know what I mean? The bigger ones can show clips because they get all the super chats in, that covers them. So they can play a lot more clips. When we reach around 10, 20,000 subscribers, never happening. But if we ever reach that level, then I'll start showing clips because I'll be able to afford to show clips. But it's a good little clip. So go and check it out if you've never seen it. Peter Jackson and the Peter Capaldi skits. Great.
Yeah.
I think Peter Jackson had won some award or something like that. I don't know what it was, but it was funny. It's been ages since I watched it. Right, do your channel shout out so we can wrap up because I did go over time and I had to get out of here anyway. Yeah. Oh, I'm late.
Who are we saying again? Jesus, I've forgotten who we're saying to. Oh yeah, Dan Hadley. Sometimes I appear on Dan's channel. You can find me there sometimes, but doing Star Trek stuff. You can find me on Rabbis, and you can find me here most of the time.
Yep. You can find PD here, Rabbi, and on Dan's channel. And don't forget, as I said, to check out Scottish Style Wrestling Friends, Wrestle with Pop Culture, and Gobby Guy. And Gobby Guy put up a couple of videos and did a live stream today. If you haven't checked them out, go and check out his 2 videos, especially the one where he's in the Shed of Dread, where he's talking about this current nonsense that's going on with Doctor Who. And I would highly recommend that you go and check those streams out if you haven't already. And as I said, check out Daniel's channel as well. He's been doing bits and pieces there as well. So listen, thanks everybody that's joined us tonight. I'm just sorry that obviously we didn't have the full panel here tonight, but life gets in the way, as they say.
Yep, certainly does.
But again, I'll thank PD for coming on and giving us his insight into Picard. We will obviously go into more when we get Chris on, and when he does talk about it next week. We'll obviously go into a lot more detail because obviously it just recently happened, so there's a lot of things, even though it's kind of fresh in the memory, there's still stuff that I'm processing, and there's probably a lot of stuff that we did miss out on, but we will follow up next week. As I said, it won't be exclusively Picard, but we'll start off with Picard to get Chris to give his opinion, and whoever else wants to add Anton if we've forgotten Anton this week. But go and check it out if you want to. If you do like Star Trek, go and check out this third season, especially the Next Generation. It is the perfect homage to it. There is a lot going for it, and as I said, it is well written, and you will like the ending. It's beautiful. It is. It's perfect ending. Chris says thank you. No problem to our head mod, Chris. Thank you for joining us as you always do for these streams, Chris. You're always here and supporting me. I really do appreciate that. And Scott, Stavros, and friends, and everybody else in the chat as well that popped in. And it's nice to see some of the old faces pop back in again as usual. We like to see you. So thank you guys for popping in, and we will see you on Monday. So enjoy your weekend, folks. Stay safe and look after yourselves. Good night.
Bye.
There shall be a